like Miss Bill the Otter, and I just like to read stories related factual based. Like
Okay.
yes.
How
Good evening, ma'am.
are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Please tell me
Oh,
about yourself.
okay, all right. I believe this is the first time we are meeting each other, so I'll start with introducing myself, okay? My name is
Yes, ma'am.
Shirsha Dasgupta. I'm currently living in Kolkata, West Bengal. Besides working with English, I also happen to be a student of psychology masters, and my hobbies will include reading and traveling, okay?
Okay, ma'am. That's
What
very
about
nice.
you?
Yeah, I'm Preeti, and originally I'm from Haryana. Right now, I'm living in Bahadurgarh, that is near New Delhi.
Okay,
I'm an I'm an English teacher in a private school.
all
I
right.
have done my MBA, MA English, and BEd. Simultaneously, I'm running my two YouTube channels.
Wow.
One is one is Easy Way to Learn with Preeti. That is my study channel, and another one is Easy Way Vlog. That is my entertaining channel.
Okay,
That's
all right. So it seems like you're quite the busy woman, honestly. I mean, working and maintaining two YouTube channels is no big deal. Like, no joke, honestly. It is a very big
yes,
deal.
no, really.
All right. So, Miss Preeti, what brings you to English Yari?
Actually, I just want to enhance my speaking skills. I have to work on my pronunciation also. So,
All right. Well, I'm more than happy to help you today. And our topic for today's session is TV shows you are glued to. All right.
okay,
You comfortable speaking about it?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So then tell me what has been your most favorite show in recent times, something that you've watched. Doesn't necessarily have to be from the TV, it could be some web series also. All right.
Actually, I don't have much time to watch TV shows and web series and all for this. I never watch a single show on web series. And yes, from last 4 years, I have been not in the touch of TV also. But yes, I like reality shows. Reality shows and KBC was my favorite. Was my favorite when before 5 years, you can say, five
Wow.
years back.
So what do you exactly like about this show that you're talking about?
Uh, about KBC.
Yes. Like, see, I'll tell you what. When people talk about KBC, it's either Amitabh Bachchan's charisma or the kind of questions they ask. So there are a lot of different reasons why a person would like KBC. So I'm trying
Hmm.
to know your perspective on it.
Uh, because I think that is a good shows with by which we can get entertainment as well as knowledge also. We can increase our knowledge. Yes.
All right, that's good. And that is more about, like, the reality side of it. I understand that you haven't seen any such series or maybe web series in the recent years, but what about movies? I'm sure you have had time to watch movies at least.
Uh, Recently, I watched 12th Fail,
Okay.
uh, and I really enjoyed the movie because that is yes, a real story based and theme based also you can say because there was a motive and moral education behind that. So yes, I inspire to my students also to watch this movie.
Okay, all right. Well, I let's suggest that I have not seen this film. Okay, how
Okay.
would you describe what happens in the film to me?
This is a movie related to Manoj Tiwari sir, and yes, the real stories it is, and in this
You can say it is based on true life events or real life
yes, it
events.
is. Yes, ma'am. It is based on true life event. And in this, Manoj Tiwari is the main character, and he shows how he did struggle in his life
Hmm.
to become an UPSC officer. How he cleared the exam, and he was from a poor background, from a village, and the village was from MP, which you can consider a very backward area. There was no such type of facility like private school was not there, and education policy. was, you can say, at a zero level in that area. So in starting time of movie, we was like Manoj Tiwari did the struggle. He Most of students of his village and his school uh, get qualified by cheating only.
Okay.
And yes, because the school was related to a politician, and there was the rule for like you have to give uh, exam only on the basis of cheating. So once Manoj Tiwari inspired by the story of an police officer,
Hmm.
and by inspiring, he start struggling. His journey of life start from there. You can say like in 12th, first he failed, and then again in next year he got I think first position, and uh, he get motivation from there. Then he went in the city for higher study, and there without any approach and without money, how he what we can say, how he do struggle in the city area, like he had no money for coaching classes, and there was no family support also.
Hmm.
The whole movie is revolve around the story of Manoj Tiwari's life, and without family support, without any father supports, how he overcome his bad condition, you can say, and weaknesses. And there was a little part of Vikas Divyakirti sir also in that movie, and he was a good friend of Manoj sir, and his wife, because it is a real life story, real life story. So in that, his wife is also the main character in the main character. So after full struggle, in the end, he cleared the exam, and then he become IPS officer, UPSC officer. Yes, and in the last, there was a speech of Manoj Vikas sir.
Hmm.
So the overall story inspired to the students, especially how we can get success in the life without any type of facilities.
Okay, all right. Well, you explained it in a really nice manner, Miss Preeti. Thank you so much. And I would just like to point out a few things. You okay? Are you open to feedback?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So you see, every time you said the word support, you said it quite a few many times. It was sounding like sports to me. Okay. So in the beginning, I didn't realize what you were talking about, and then I understood you were trying to say support. So it is very important that you break down words when you're pronouncing them. If, let's say, while speaking in a flow, you mispronounce a word, it might change the context of what you're talking about. All right. So support and sports are not definitely the same thing. So if you say support, make sure you're pronouncing it clearly. Okay. Every syllable should be pronounced properly. That is one. The second thing would be, instead of saying, let's say, a bad background or a poor background, you could use another word like, let's say, underprivileged. Okay.
Underprivileged. Yes, ma'am.
You could say that he was from the underprivileged section of Madhya Pradesh, and it was a norm, because see, it is not a definitive rule, it is just something that was happening for a long time, that all the students from that particular state qualified via cheating, as you said. Okay, so instead of saying rule, you can say norm. Now, how do you differentiate between these
Norms.
two
Yes.
words? Rule is basically something that's written down, it is concrete, you cannot break
Mm-hmm.
it that way. But norm is something that is socially acceptable, that is just socially prevalent, it's there. Like, let's say 50 years back, it was common to give dowry while marriages. Okay, but
Yes.
now it's a criminal act. So giving dowry was not a rule, it was a norm that you had to do. And now
Hmm.
not taking dowry is a rule. There's a difference between the two. Okay, that is one.
Okay.
And instead of saying they qualified by using cheating, you can say that they used unfair methods to qualify the
Unfair
exam.
method. Yes. Yes.
Yes. So you see, I'm just saying this because there's a amount of English people expect that you will know as a teacher. Okay.
Hmm.
So when you use these terms, that is when it just shows a little bit of polishness to your speech. That's it. Whatever you said was definitely not wrong. That is fine. I'm just giving you better words to use. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Like
That is,
advanced word in place of basic words.
yes, exactly. Something like that. Since it is your goal to enhance your vocabulary, I was just doing that. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Another thing, there was sometimes I was observing this, then instead of saying specially, it was specially for you. Okay. So there was the sharp out of the word, that is
Mm.
specially, it was become specially. It was becoming like that. Okay. So just be a little mindful of that. You will be good to go. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, honestly, it is easy to forget something that we have liked because there are multiple pieces of, maybe let's say, movies or books that we read and we like it. But I think it is very difficult to forget something bad you have seen. Like, I remember I was probably in the, well, like my middle school years when I watched this really bad film. I'm not going to name it here, but it was a horrible experience and I still remember it. Even though I might have forgotten some movies that I might have liked, I have definitely not forgotten this one. So is there something you might have ever read or seen that you definitely did not like?
Uh, in any shows or in any movie you want to ask?
It could be movie, show, book, whatever you want to say.
Well, yes, I just want to remove something in from the book syllabus, not from movie. I'm not talking about movies. Yes, from book syllabus, I want like in NCRT syllabus in 10th and 12th classes. So there are some chapters which are, I think,
Yeah, I'm sorry I got stuck there for a minute. Well, you don't have to worry about not naming the chapters here because my mother also happens to be a CBSE English teacher for high school. So I'm very well equipped with the syllabus. You can go on and tell them. I can also guess which one you're talking about, but still, go on.
yes, ma'am. Actually, I just want to change the syllabus because now our prime minister is already changing syllabus in some subjects like history. So, as well as in English also, I think there is a need to change something in the syllabus because there are some chapters which are not related to actually, I just want there should be one chapter like which we by which we can get good motivation, like different skills. Um, because in literature, some chapters are there in NCRT syllabus which are, I think, according to me, they are not good.
Okay, which ones would that be? Like, just
Uh,
give me the name of one chapter and why do you think it's not good?
Hmm.
Your
In
idea.
10th class, yes, ma'am, in 10th class also, the literature part is so big, you can say,
Yes.
because there are two books.
Yeah, they
In
almost have 22 chapters if I'm not wrong.
yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
and like Miss Bill the author, and I just like to read stories that is
Started
cut.
from that.
Yes,
All right.
already cut from the syllabus, and some chapters like in 11th class also, Melon City and.
Oh
Uh,
my god, Melon City, I don't know, it doesn't make any sense. I have read that poem. It makes no sense. I don't know why it was written. But you were saying that you like teaching factual based stories. I think you would like Silk Route.
yes, Silk Road is good.
Yes.
Good. Actually, there should be some chapters related that should be uh, relatable to the teenagers, which should be based on the moral education, maybe knowledgeful related to factual base. Like in 10th class, there is one chapter which have three parts. Uh, Assam, one is from Goa, and one is from Assam, and one is from for Kurg.
All right.
So, yes. So these three parts are totally based on real, factual based, you can say, because in that chapter we learned um, about the different part of our India, like Goa and then Kurg and then
I'll tell you what. as a student, even we have had these topics. Okay, like I'm personally not from CBSE board, but even in ISC, we have had some pieces like this, some pieces with, let's say, some sort of geographical relevance or some sort of historical relevance. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
still remember I had one called Chief Seattle speech in the 10th standard for when I was appearing for my boards. Now, it was completely based on the history of the Native Americans, the Red Indians as we call them. Okay, now, from a student's perspective, I'll tell you why it is very difficult for us to deal with these chapters, because we have, let's say, apart from English, other subjects as well. And a lot of them requires us to mark things up, just rote learn them, okay, without understanding. Some chapters are like that, you can't help it. Now, when it comes to literature, people want to read, analyze, and think deeply and then get into the subject. If the chapters there also are based on complete rote learning, that is when students don't find interest in that. This is what I have seen, at least in my batch. That much I would say.
Yes, ma'am. And every year, the one or two chapter already cut from the syllabus from CBSE side. And same in the 12th class, like there is one chapter which is related to one chapter is related to the story of Japanese people and American people. That
The
is good.
anime.
Yes, anime, the
It
anime.
is
That
the
is good.
largest chapter and it is also one of the best ones. True.
Yes, ma'am, that is good. But first
Yes.
chapter, that is the third level, which is totally confusing.
Yeah. Third level has psychological twist to it. Not everybody
Yes,
understands that. That's the
yes,
problem.
yes. You can say yes, yes.
Yes.
Totally psychology based. And
Yes.
one chapter is already cut from the syllabus, and two, three chapters are there. I think literature of 12th class is totally based on the reading portion. I think
Yes.
that is for the, yes, to create interest for the reader.
Yeah.
But somehow which I observe, like in Indian society, especially Indian students, always try rote learning. They just read
Yes,
the
a lot of
chapter.
students actually prefer rote learning, and you can't even blame them. At the end of the day, it is the education system that has made them like this. Because,
Hmm.
truly speaking, we test the students' memory instead of their understanding. A lot of the
Yes, yes.
questions are based on what they can remember from the text instead of what they have understood. But now, slowly, some subjects are bringing in the change. They are
Hmm.
giving application based questions so that you can test how much they have understood, which is, I think, in the long run more important and more fruitful. Because, I'm sorry, mugging up things will only take them to a certain extent. After that, there is not much they can do about it.
Yes, ma'am. And second thing is, like my views are like that. You have to be um, maintain the syllabus like in 10th class. If we talk about 10th class syllabus, so there are 20 to 25 four chapters in both book. So what is the benefit for that? I think if we want to create the interest of student, we have to reduce the syllabus. But
Yes,
overall,
obviously. Yes,
and
true.
we have to focus on the creativity, like how we can create the interest of students, because
Yes,
sometimes yes, it is a burden on teachers also. We have to complete the syllabus in this
absolutely.
time.
It is no wonder it is a wonder burden, because you see, you hardly get, let's say, 7 to 8 classes every week with every section. How are you
Yes.
supposed to complete all of that with so many holidays in question? It is not an easy task. And then starts taking the extra classes thing. I'll take your games period, I'll take your library period, and then students get upset that, bam, why are you taking that? What they don't understand is that you also have a job to complete, which is very difficult. I understand that. And this is something with CBSC, they have huge number of chapters. In ISC, we had like 6 poems, six proses, but we had an entire Shakespearean play to complete. Like in 10th, we had Merchant of Venice, and in 12th, we had The Tempest. And it's the entire book, act by act, literally, in Shakespearean language. So that is a different level of struggle altogether. So I think both boards need to understand that instead of focusing on their entire attention on one part, it is important to spread it out so that it is easy as well as interesting. Do you agree with
Yes,
me?
yes, I'm totally agree.
Yeah. Also, Ms. Preeti, just one thing. Instead of saying 10th class, you can say 10th standard. Okay.
Can't stand it. Okay.
Yes, that sounds nice. And instead of saying that these chapters have been cut from the syllabus, you can say they have been omitted from the syllabus. Omitted.
Committed.
Omitted.
Omitted. Yes. Okay,
O
okay.
M
Yes.
I double T E D.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Omitted.
ma'am. Remove. Okay.
Removed or omitted. Yes.
Actually, when we teach senior classes, sometimes new words, we also read new words, but
Yes,
it
of
is not the
course.
habit of speaking. That's why maybe the reason, like we never use those words in our speaking
Yeah,
part.
this is a huge thing with vocabulary. You can know a lot of words, but if you don't constantly keep using them, you will eventually forget them. That is the tricky
Yes,
part. And obviously, I understand since you teach so many students, it's not possible for you to always use polished words because your main motto at the end of the day is to make them understand what you're teaching. And if that happens with the simplest of words, then that is the best course of action for you.
yes, sir.
Yes, I understand that. Like, just have seen my mother over the years for so many years doing this exact same thing. And now she sometimes screams in frustration. She's like, I am forgetting the meaning of words I knew because I cannot use them on a daily basis. And it is very valid. There's no problem with that. What, according to you, is the best piece in the 12th standard, if I ask you? Like the one you love the most?
Chapter
Yes.
in 12th class. Yes, the last chapter. Uh, the last chapter of Flamingo, going places. Yes, that
Going
is the
places. Okay,
yes.
you like
That
that
is
one.
yes. That is overall related to students, teenage.
Yes, that is very much related to how the teenage mind works, right?
Yes. So most of students relatable in that time when I teach them.
Yes, that feeling of hero worship. That oh my
Yes.
God, he's so handsome, he's so talented. That awe that people get when they have a celebrity crush or something like that. That is
Hmm.
very relatable. Absolutely true. That. Okay. It was nice talking to you, Miss Preeti. I haven't spoken to anybody about the 12th standard syllabus in a long time. I needed this. Thank you. All right. Now, Ms. Preeti, just two things that I would like to mention. Like I already pointed out the specific problems that were there in between. Two general things that I observed. Okay. The first part is you explain very well, which is good. You mentally make a list of those 3 points and then you proceed with them. So you know that okay, I'm speaking about point number one. Now I'm moving on to point number two. That is how you can speak without getting stuck. Okay. The other thing is try to maintain your eye contact with the person you're speaking to. Try not to look here and there, although it is different for teachers. You have to look at everybody while teaching, but
Yes, sir.
when it is a one-on-one conversation, try to fix your gaze on the person you are speaking with. All
Okay.
right,
Yes, sir.
these two things are the major ones that I observed, and sometimes there is a problem with the pronunciation of the sir and the sure words, like I said, and
Yeah.
the o words also, like obviously sometimes the o is getting stressed on more, sometimes it is not getting stressed on at all. Okay,
Hmm.
with
Okay.
repeated pronunciation practice, this will get sorted. Don't worry. All right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And that's all for today, Miss Preeti. Thank you so much for joining. See you soon.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, then that's all for today, Miss Preeti. Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye bye.